Hello, welcome to Villages, Florida. My name is David. I'm a realtor with Florida Realty Investments, and every week I take a look at the real estate market in Central Florida, specifically focused on the Villages. For those who don't know, the Villages is a 55 plus community. We've got 43 nine-hole executive golf courses, 12 championship golf courses, entertainment. There are live bands in town squares every night of the week. 365 days a year. There's entertainment, recreation, shopping, dining, community pools, recreation centers. If you're looking for an active lifestyle, then this is the place for you. And if you're trying to learn about real estate here, then this is the channel for you. A couple of things to note. The Villages has two distinct marketplaces, the VLS and the MLS. The MLS is the same real estate market that you are familiar with from other areas of the country. It's known as the multiple listing service. The VLS is the Village's own internal marketplace. It's the only place where you'll find new properties listed, but pre-owned homes are for sale on both the VLS and the MLS. If you're a buyer and you only have a VLS broker, or you only have an MLS broker, you will not be able to see everything for sale here. VLS brokers will only show you VLS properties, and MLS brokers will usually only show you MLS properties. All of this information is drawn from the MLS, not from the VLS. We produce this show every week. Make sure you check the date to ensure you're getting the most recent information. And if you find the information valuable, please consider liking or subscribing to the channel. Really helps us with the YouTube algorithm. If you're a buyer and you're trying to find a good deal, I think you'll find that our data-driven approach will give you the confidence that you are getting a good deal. And if you're a seller, I think you'll find that our approach will give you the confidence that the asking price you've chosen is the correct one. If you need to reach me, I can be reached either at DavidisinFlorida.com or DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at what's happening this week. We start every week by taking a look at the yield on the US 10-year note. The mortgage rate most closely tracks this rate. And looking at this chart, you can see that we're still hovering right around 4% on the 10-year. It has been up as high as 5% about a year ago. It's anybody's guess as to what mortgage rates will do from here. I'm going to start by zooming in on the Villages. For those who are unaware of where it is, it's in Central Florida, about an hour north of Orlando. The maps that you're looking at represent every active listing on the MLS. The map shows you its location. The size of the dot represents the size of the home. The larger the dot, the larger the home. The color of the circle represents its price per square foot. The more expensive the home, the lighter the color. The less expensive on a per square foot basis, the darker the color. And zooming in here on Lake Sumter, as we switch back and forth between price and price per square foot, you can see that it becomes readily apparent where the deals might be. We can also use this tool to look at data in a different way. Here we're looking at all active listings, but here the color represents how many days on the market. The lighter the circle, the more days on the market. The darker the circle, the fewer days on the market. So if you're trying to find new listings, or you're trying to find listings where owners might be more willing to negotiate, this can be a helpful tool. Here's another way we can use the tool. Here we're focusing on homes that meet these two criteria. They need to be under $250 a square foot, and they need to have been on the market for over 120 days. These are the homes that meet these criteria. Obviously, you can narrow your search down by whatever criteria interests you. We're going to take a look at the differences between the different regions of the Villages, and let me show you how I've broken them into geographic areas. The first area is the area I'm calling the North. Keep in mind that these maps are showing you active listings with the size of the dot representing the size of the home and the color representing its price per square foot. The darker the circle, the lower per square foot. The brighter the circle, the more expensive per square foot. So the north is the area that is south of 42 and north of 466. The mid-north is the area that is south of 466 and north of 466A. The mid-south is everything south of 466A and north of 44. And the south is everything south of 44. As we go through this data, you can get some idea as to the differences between the various regions of the villages, how price per square foot varies, and size of home varies. Let's now take a look at some actual numbers. Here's a long-term chart showing us the number of active listings. This week we're up to 461. Last week there were 456 active listings. Last year there were only 296. Currently, prices in the villages range from 89,000, which is the lowest price that I've seen here for quite some time, to the most expensive home, which is currently 2,950,000. The trend line representing the increase in listings continues to go higher. For the last 7 days, the median time on the market for all listings was 60 days. The previous week, it was 59 days, and a year ago, it was 55 days. If you look back over the last couple of years, whenever the time on the market has reached 60 days, it has rebounded. We're not rebounding this year. Here's a long-term chart, listing price per square foot. Median this week, 259.33, about the same as the 259.42 of last week, and down slightly from the 260.45 of a year ago. Looking at this chart, it's obvious that prices have done nothing for almost a year and a half now. I'll run through these charts fairly quickly. We're trying to give you some idea as to the differences between the regions of the villages. All MLS listings this week, number 461. Smallest home, 828 square feet. Largest, 4,216. Price per square foot ranges from 82 to 789. And prices for homes in the villages this week range from 89,000 to 2,950,000. Let's take a look at the differences between the regions of the villages. This is the area that I've described as the north. It is the most active area in the villages. Currently, size of homes available for sale range from 875 square feet to almost 3,000. Price per square foot ranges from 82 to 448. There are 202 active listings this week in the north, and they range in price from 89,000 to just over $1 million. This is the Mid-North, 141 active listings, ranging in size from 1,090 square feet to 4,216 square feet. Price per square foot in the Mid-North ranges from 203 a foot to 600 a foot, and prices in the Mid-North range from 270,000 to 1,225,000. This is the Mid-South, 48 active listings, ranging in size from 1,156 square feet to 3,875 square feet. Price per square foot in the Mid-South ranges from 210 to 789, and prices in the Mid-South range from 300,000 to 2,950,000. And this is the South, 70 active listings. Prices range from 255,000 to 845,000. Size of the homes in the South for sale range from 828 square feet to 2183 square feet, and price per square foot ranges from 230 to almost 430. Okay, so let's take a look at what properties entered the market last week and what left. Last week there were 39 new listings and 30 homes went pending. The previous week, 41 new listings and 34 homes went pending. And the same week a year ago, there were 35 new listings and 41 homes went pending. The black line represents homes going pending, and the red line represents new listings. Obviously, if new listings are higher than homes going pending, then inventory will grow, and that should put pressure on sellers. On the other hand, if pending home sales are higher than new listings, then that would mean that inventory was decreasing, and that would increase pressure on buyers. This chart is the result of the previous chart. We're looking at the difference between new listings and homes going pending. The zero line obviously represents as many homes being listed as going pending. Last week there were 9 more homes being listed than going pending. The previous week there were 7 more. A year ago there were 6 more homes going pending than being listed. We think this chart is interesting. This shows the price change for the homes that went pending last week. A 4.26% reduction, identical to the 4.26% reduction of the previous week, and very much improved from the 6.25% that homes going pending were offering buyers same week a year ago. This is the median price per square foot at which the homes went pending last week. Price of 256.69, up from 251.69 of the previous week, and higher than the 249.69 of the same week a year ago. We're trying to keep an eye on short-term trends. Median time on the market for the homes going pending last week was 39 days. Previous week 45, a year ago 29. It's hard to tell, but looking at this graph, it does appear as if time on the market is creeping higher. Now let's take a look at the homes that sold and closed last week. They numbered 28. The previous week there were 43. A year ago there were 29. Prices for the homes that closed last week ranged from 250,000, which was originally 254.9, to 770,000, which is the same price at which it was originally listed. This is the median price per square foot realized on the homes that closed last week, 257, up from 252 the previous week and up from 250 same week a year ago. Here are two newer charts. This is tracking sales per week and we're comparing year by year. You can see 2024, the red line, there were 28 sales last week. The same week in 2023, there were 29, and the same week in 22, there were 28. It does appear as if we're following normal seasonal patterns here. And here we look at how many weeks of inventory the inventory and sales levels represent. This week, 16 and a half weeks of inventory. I'm dividing the number of listings by the number of sales. As I said last week, 16 and a half weeks of inventory. The previous week, 10.6, and a year ago, 10.2. So now let's look at all listings again. Here we're looking at what percentage have reduced their asking price from the original list price. This week, 52.06% have reduced their asking price. Last week, 52.41% had. A year ago, more than 55% had. And here we track what the actual decrease from the original listing price was. The median decrease this week is a 4.2% reduction. The previous week it was 4.02. Last year it was almost 4.6. It does appear as if sellers are having to start reducing asking prices again. That is this week's look at the Village's real estate market. If you're a buyer and you're trying to find a good deal, or you're a seller and you're trying to maximize your return, please consider reaching out to me, DavidisinFlorida.com or DavidisinFlorida@gmail.com. I'll be happy to help you with real estate or lifestyle related questions about life in Central Florida or life in the Villages. I hope to hear from you. Take care.